secret or high top secret information.
And it was the Lady G-Men taking a 60-48 win.
Hello and welcome to Brown County Rewind for the week of June 18th. I'm Brian Peck, and here's the latest. The search for two missing boys on Dunbar Road in Felicity ended in tragedy last Saturday when the body of 11-year-old Justin Deverselli was discovered at the Meldau Locks and Dam in Claremont County. Crews searched the waters of Bolskin Creek in the Ohio River for 4 days after Deverselli and his brother, Blake Deverselli, vanished following a rainstorm along the creek's bank on Wednesday, June 9th. Blake Deverselli's body was recovered several miles downstream the following day. Chief Deputy John Shadle with the Brown County Sheriff's Office thanked each of the agencies involved with searching for the two boys. For more information, see the full story in the Thursday News Democrat. 70 to 80 mile-per-hour winds smashed through Aberdeen on Tuesday night as a strong thunderstorm system swept through the Aberdeen Park after causing extensive damage to Maysville. Most of the damage was contained to the River Park in Aberdeen. Many trees were uprooted or split in half by the storm, and the high winds also blew out several windows in the Aberdeen Municipal Building. Village work crews spent a large amount of time clearing roads and picking up debris on Wednesday. Still, according to a damage assessment by the National Weather Service, only minor damages were reported in Aberdeen. A community leader in Ripley died this past week as Floyd Brookbank, former owner of Brookbank Enterprises and longtime member of the Ripley Federal Board of Trustees, died at the Ohio Valley Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. He was 91 years old. Brookbank's business, which sold coal and auto fuel, was sold when Brookbank retired in 1987. A full obituary will appear in next Thursday's News Democrat and Ripley Bee newspapers. We now go to Michael Arthur with more news.
Thank you, Brian. The Mount Orab Port Authority met with a few members of the Brown County Solid Waste Authority this week to discuss recent state legislation that could potentially allow the Solid Waste Authority to loan up to 75% of its funds to Brown County General Hospital. Because the county-owned hospital and the Solid Waste Authority are both government entities, the funds would have to pass through the Mount Orab Port Authority, and the Port Authority would be legally responsible for repaying the funds within 6 months. Before officials agreed to a loan, however, representatives of the Solid Waste and Port Authorities want assurances that the hospital can repay the money in the narrow time frame permitted by House Bill 393. Meetings are being arranged with hospital leadership to identify its expectations for repayment and to see if any recourse would be available to the Port Authority if the hospital defaults. The loan would help the hospital meet debt obligations while it searches for an outside company to buy or partner with the local healthcare institution. For more information on the loan should be available after a Solid Waste Authority meeting tentatively scheduled for Monday, June 21st. House Bill 393, which passed the Ohio House and Senate last week, should be signed into law by that date. For more on the story, pick up a copy of the June 17th edition of the News Democrat or the June 20th edition of the News Democrat Sunday, or visit our website, www.newsdemocrat.com. Two top Brown County officials have announced plans to retire at the end of the month. Board of Elections Director Sue McIntosh and Emergency Management Director Jane Cowhall have both submitted resignations for retirement effective June 30th. McIntosh has spent over 30 years working in county government, including 19 years as Director of Elections for the county. She has worked in the county's recorder's office and for the clerk of courts as well. The full Board of Elections was expected to meet Thursday, June 24th, to review applications and begin the process of selecting McIntosh's replacement. Cowhall has coordinated police, fire departments, and EMS crews in emergency situations for nearly 14 years. She entered the position during the 1997 flood and has continued as emergency coordinator ever since. Cowhall is a longtime resident of Ripley, where she lives with her husband, Bain Cowhall. It is unclear when the new emergency management director will be selected. Find more on the retirements in the June 17th edition of the News Democrat. We now go to Wade with sports.
Thanks, Michael. The third annual Radio Shack News Democrat Athlete of the Year dinner at Mount Orb La Rosa's is scheduled for July 14th. This year's three male finalists are three-star basketball players from the area: Bethel Tate's Louis Shaljo, Georgetown's Jess Chadwell, and Eastern's Tyler Knabb. Of this year's three female finalists, two are local basketball players: Georgetown's Paige Gast and Fayetteville Perry's Shelby Sheets. The third finalist is Western Brown track star Morgan Orr. More than 50 young football players ventured to La Rosa's field at Western Brown High School June 7th through 10th to take part in this year's Western Brown Camp of Champions. On day 2 of the camp, the young athletes were paid a visit from Jason Kelsey, Evan Davis, and Alex Hoffman, all who are linemen on the University of Cincinnati football team. The trio of Bearcat linemen spent the morning with the campers, helping them improve on their skills and passing down some motivating words. Pat Hill, retired teacher, coach, and athletic director from New Richmond High School, was recently hired as the new Southern Buckeye Athletic Academic Conference Commissioner. His term will begin in fall of 2010-2011 school year. Bud Phillips recently retired after 20 years as the Southern Buckeye Conference Commissioner. Hill has already started a new league website that can be found at www.sbaac.net. Rain may have put a dampener on some of the weekend events around the county, but in between the heavy showers, the Brown County Charity Horse Show carried on. Equestrians young and old from near and far ventured to the Brown County Fairgrounds in Georgetown June 10th through 12th to take part in the many classes of competition. New on this year's schedule were the draft horse classes and the western classes. The High School Girls Summer League in Ripley continued this past week, and the Eastern Lady Warriors once again came out on top in Thursday's round of games, wrapping up their evening by defeating the homestanding Ripley Lady Jays 44-38. That does it for sports this week. Good luck to all our athletes, and for more on local sports, be sure to check out the Thursday News Democrat on store shelves now.